What does your fantasy race say about you? In no particular order, dwarves. In my experience with dwarves, you're probably the quiet, strong type. You usually pick up the axe or hammer over the sword, preferring the direct approach to defeating your foes and to making solid bonds. You tend to be the heart of the party and the father figure of the group. You're the reliable, strong, and firmly rooted caretaker of your friends. However, you scarcely give second chances, and if you do, it is after great debilitations, which only emphasizes how strong your connection is with your companions. You probably gravitate towards being a warrior of a sort, fighter, or even a cleric, and you are more likely an advocate for hard and honest work, and probably were at odds with your more mischievous friends multiple times. However, even when you disagree with your fellow companions, they're still dear to you, and you strive to find common ground with them. You probably enjoy a good, cold drink after a hard day of work, and a very hearty meal consisting of potatoes, beef, poultry, and root vegetables like carrots and onions. Elves! Well, I'll do my best to be objective here. You're probably either the show-off type that tries to outshine your fellows with pure, unadulterated awesomeness while secretly hoping to be awed at. Or perhaps you have lived for hundreds of years and are the wise and educated voice of the group, the voice of reason, and the strategist, the calculated and thoughtful type. But regardless of how you might sneer at others for being inferior to your elven heritage, or make fun of dwarves for being short, your heart remains faithful to your companions. I bet you have either an inclination to the wilds or the arcane, feeling an affinity towards being a ranger or a wizard. You are more than likely have already experienced a lot in life, be it by actually fighting dragons or reading about it in your books, which is giving you a different outlook than your companions about approaching problems while adventuring. You tend to steer the group towards the more well thought out and calculated course of action, rather than just cutting loose and doing things with the flow of the moment. Your favorite meal is more than likely light snacks, while secretly harboring a specific preference such as a sweet tooth or a strong urge to eat sour or really bitter things. Halflings, you're probably the jokester of your group, the life of the party, and the one that comes up with the most innocent or improbable schemes to overcome the craziest of challenges, and against all odds, you tend to pull them off too, even if only by sheer luck. Your companions might look at your ideas as bizarre and overly simplistic, but they have learned to believe in you and appreciate the positive view you have on life. As for your abilities, you are likely a follower of druidism. Being one with nature and a peaceful existence probably suits you perfectly. Or you might be a rogue, avoiding conflicts and putting your feet to good use. Your hopeful and positive outlook on life is probably giving you a unique perspective on the direst of situations, and your fellow companions see you as a ray of light in the darkest of nights. When things go south, they look to you for inspiration and your supernatural luck to save them. You probably love animals and enjoy warm pastries too. However, that won't stop you from trying everything at least once. I mean, you must have something for second breakfast, right? Human. You're versatile and you know it. Some of the other races don't expect much from you due to your shorter lifespan. However, with your versatility and adaptability comes strength beyond your years. As a human, you're akin to a firework amidst a sea of candles. You reach peaks and heights that take elves, dwarves, and gnomes hundreds of years to achieve. Maybe it's because you try to compensate for your shorter life, or because you're innately more unique in your approach, preferring innovation over traditions. However, from my experience with humans, you're so different from one another. You have so many cultures, each unique in its own way. It lends to a more diverse and versatile culture than the rest of the races. Your approach is usually grounded in reality and level-headed, but you never hesitate to act when needed, giving you great leadership qualities. Due to each of you having such unique upbringings, I have noticed that although most of humanity gravitates towards the physical arts, such as swordplay and cavalry, it isn't uncommon to see wizards, sorcerers, and clerics among your ranks. And such, your favorite foods include everything. I love human cuisine. You will try everything from any region. and you will do your best to innovate on traditional dishes. Gnomes! You're probably either the genius, crazy uncle of the party, or the precious, heartwarming companion everyone seeks solace for. You're probably the one that comes up with the craziest schemes to overcome the simplest and mundane of challenges, and tend to pull them off too, even if only for the entertainment of the gods themselves sometimes. Your companion probably look at you as an oddball, an enigma, an obsessed and passionate individual that always looks for the next exciting chapter of their lives. They probably assume the colors you see are more vivid and the smells you smell are more enticing, while you're unfazed by most problems. Even though they are wary of your methods, your companions sincerely appreciate your intellect, charisma, and unique, innovative ideas to specific situations and problems that might arise during your time adventuring together. Underestimating a gnome just might be your end. Gnomes' interests are vast, and you are inclined to pursue fields with more intellectual depths to obsess over, such as a wizard, a mechanist, or a lore master. It isn't uncommon to see a fierce, battle-passionate gnome well versed in the art of blade, however. You probably love strong taste, preferring a strong mix of sweet, salty, and savory tasting meals. I hoped you liked these observations, and if you agree or disagree, write it down below.